Unit 3. Natural Individual Subtype Programs of Homo sapiens. 3.1 Why know the natural individual subtype program of a human? Characteristics of species and subspecies of animals and plants, which are different by nature, make it possible to classify and describe them in encyclopedias. This, in turn, allows a person to obtain information about a certain natural object or phenomenon from encyclopedias, reference books, and other catalogs. For example, from catalogs of animals, it is possible to learn the natural qualities of each of them, how they look, how they live, what they eat, how they reproduce, etc. Prior to creation of such catalogs, a human had to learn this on his own skin. Encyclopedias, catalogs, which describe the world of nature, relieved people from having to learn on their own that some animals can damage or even kill, that plants can be very poisonous, and that water in nature is not only a brook or a calmly flowing river, but also vertiginous currents, swamps that suck in deep, huge ocean waves, floods, etc. Without an encyclopedia, from which it is possible to easily find out about any person, the same thing happens to those who, without having knowledge about the true nature of their fellow biological species, try to come into contact with them. People's lives are full of troubles, dangers, and damages because they do not know qualities and functionalities of people with whom they communicate. After all, as it turned out, human natural programs are a mix of properties of real objects of nature: animals, plants, mountains, valleys, rivers, lakes, swamps, streams, rocks, minerals, soils, metals, and much more. And among them there are not only peaceful rabbits or sparrows, but also tigers, wild boars, venomous snakes or insects, not only quiet rivers and lakes, but also rapidly flowing streams, not only carps, but piranhas and sharks, not only buttercups and daisies, but plants like, for example, manchineel or Cerberus. And for example, without knowledge of natural properties of manchineel, if a person hides under its branches from the rain, drops with mixed in poisonous milky sap will fall from the tree onto that person, and he will become covered with blisters from head to toe. Therefore, without the catalogue of human population, every person has a lot of problems throughout life. These problems never end because he is always among people. And people in this civilization do everything to hide their true qualities of personality, their natural functionalities, behind numerous cover-ups and masks. Under the guise of a white lamb or a beautiful flower can hide anyone and anything. As a result, figuratively speaking, a person without knowledge of individual, subtype programs of other people first steps on the tail of a poisonous snake and it bites him, then gets sucked into a swamp, then a rock hits him on the head, then he gets ripped by poisonous thorns, then he finds himself in a tornado zone or even paws of a tiger. For a long time, Homo sapiens remained one of the few biological objects which was not arranged systematically by subtype structures in an encyclopedia. Of course, some encyclopedias about a human existed, for example, anatomical atlases. However, one could not get information about what this or that person is like, let alone how to come into contact, interact with him. But now the biological type human is classified due to that researcher sinologist A. Davidov discovered detailed descriptions of 293 human subtypes in the ancient monument titled Shanhai Jing, which is why this book was named the Catalogue of Human Population. The Catalogue of Human Population is an encyclopedia of Homo sapiens, from which it is possible to obtain detailed descriptions of people. From this directory one can easily find out the natural individual, subtype, program of any of over 7 billion people living on planet Earth. Consideration of each person as a representative of one of the subtypes allows to find out any information about him, her using minimal form data, only by the date of his/her birth. This is very convenient. The catalog of human population allows to obtain any information about a person on all 6 factors: what this person is like in the intellectual sphere, how he/she thinks, at what rate and in which algorithms, what his/her interests are, etc., what, when, where and how he/she eats, what are his/her physical parameters, abilities, etc., what emotional manifestations are normal for him/her, how powerful they are, how and in which situations he/she expresses emotions, etc., what are his/her sexual preferences, sexual potential, how it gets expressed, in what forms, with which partners, under what conditions and algorithms, etc., in what geographical area, type of housing, interior, conditions he/she prefers to live, what his/her natural talents are, how they can be realized, including professional activity, although not necessarily, how he/she communicates with others, on what basis, what he/she seeks, by which methods, and what other people should be fearful of with him/her, and so on. To know the natural individual, subtype program of a person means to know all his/her hidden motivational springs, personality traits, life algorithms, functions, abilities, habits, and predilections, including everything that an individual usually carefully hides from others. This knowledge fully reveals the true nature of a person, which is usually hidden behind numerous masks, giving a complete picture of who he or she is, real, without embellishments. In order to make contact with another person and turn it in the needed direction, it is necessary to understand exactly who your opponent is, how he/she will act, what and how he/she will say, what he/she will seek, and so on. To know all this, it is no longer necessary to meet up with this person, to observe him, to try to learn something about him from someone, to provoke some actions, to study his reactions, and so on. There is no longer a need to be in any situation with a person in order to know exactly what to expect from him, what actions, what reactions, what decisions, and what to be cautious of with him. It is enough to simply read the description of a person in the catalog of human population. It is possible to read any type of information about any person in catalog of human population. It is just as easy as learning, for example, about dogs from a reference book about dogs. And this is at a minimum because the catalog of human population also contains information about how to make a person absolutely controllable from the outside, about how he should grow, meaning gradually develop, self-perfect, etc.